Okay, so Stephen Amoah is on line, is MP4 in Shire. So let me go to him and get some quick answers. Honorable Stephen Amoah, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me on your preach.
I'm sure you know this voice is trending. It's been trending on many WhatsApp platforms. It's been forwarded many times.
And it's my voice.
Good. So what question were you answering? What did the gentleman ask you?
Thank you very much. Before then, I beg you, if you realize for about 4 months now, I've not been talking. In your own station, other stations, I've not been talking. So give me a speak. I'm just begging you because I need to set a preamble. You're somebody I respect, so you're a good person, your station is great. If we all want to build Ghana, please have patience and listen to what I'm saying. We have a country now that anything anybody sees, anybody can pick any part of it to do online story, TikTok, and that then becomes the topical issue for discussion, and then it becomes rather even distracting. Now, educative part of what people present, always twisted. Now, they can even mimic voices and do things that one has never, ever said. And I think a time will come that nobody will speak. And I'm sure somebody like you are smart. You know what I'm talking about. That one day, nothing is being done about it.
Which is why I called you.
No, but even you calling me, I will speak because it's Citi. I'm being honest. I'm speaking with fear because after speaking, they will change the story again. And nobody wants to talk about that aspect in our country, what is going on now. And people are deceived. So you call me, yes, but I'm going to speak with my own peril. I went to monitor the elections last day in my constituency. Ask the media, they had to struggle for me to speak. In any case, we're all moving up and down with our NDC guys. I mean, sometimes I get a little bit tough, we go together, there was pressure. Then when we finish, they're like, they want to talk to you. Everybody wants to listen to Stephen Amoah. So they asked me about the dollar. And I did a lot of education. That one day, nobody wanted to talk about it. All that I said was, we are doing a lot as a government between now and December to mitigate the impact of what is happening with respect to the dollar by making sure that we get inflows in dollars so that at least it will strengthen the supply side for the cedi to be quite competitive. But it is a short-term approach that Ghana as a country, that is what we have been adopting and doing all the time. That we normally find short-term approach. So it becomes like, okay, today we have syndicated loans or syndication loans. We have maybe IMF, whatever, or World Bank. We have raised bonds in euros or dollars. And then after some time, you come back to zero. And I narrated the reasons. One being the fact that preference for goods and services of the same liquidity and risk factors are being preferred by Ghanaians in terms of between Ghana, the foreign ones, and even inadequacy in terms of what we produce here. So we need a long-term approach to dealing with that issue. Then the short term is the fact that people put up behaviors that are dysfunctional, such as black market transactions that are now involved. So
hello, we are missing.
Change our behaviors.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear. Go ahead.
Yes, and change our behaviors to support any policy framework that the government will design. It doesn't matter who is in government. Other than that, we'll be recycling this cedi issue and dollar issues for first time we all know. And then I came and said that for a long-term approach, I believe that when Dr. Bawumia comes, we will design a long-term approach. And what is so wrong with the fact that we are saying that when we come, we'll design a long-term approach? What one will ask is, why didn't you do that? But improvement is a process. Either we've tried that, it hasn't been too successful, either because of what happens and expectations of Ghanaians and the mutual behaviors between MPP and NDC, the way we all behave, I would say mutually, not in a positive sense anyway. We always condemn each other, even when we know the reality is not what it is. Sometimes we actually take knee-jerk decisions in dealing with some of these issues. Just to make sure that we offer the needed utilities on the part of our beneficiaries and the citizens. And I think it is time that we actually sat down and designed a long-term approach, because we all want to be too technical. Monetary expansion, real value in the market, and they're talking about world market levels. Affect currencies. We all know. However, as a developing economy, that we are import-driven economy. Until we solve that problem, we'll always be having these challenges. Until we deal precisely or coincidentally or whatever with the situation of the fact that we don't even know the amount of dollars being circulated in Ghana. We have weak borders as a country that people can enter and live with whatever they want. People can hide money. It's a problem. So if I affect all these things, and I said that, inshallah, if Dr. Bawumia comes, we'll be able to come out with a long-term solution to some of these problems.
Okay.
My brother,
So you said all this, but the voice that was circulated is a bit much shorter. But you do understand that, of course, people have the right to decide which aspect of a voice they want to put out. And I understand your point when you say it may be taken out of context. Be that as it may, you still have to understand people's anger when, for example, you suggest that when Dr. Bawumia comes, because the question is, he's already here. The MPP is already in government. So why are you trying to separate what you can do now from when he comes? I think that's the first question people ask you.
Can I ask you one question, boss? We are having very good discussion. You have trust whatever you say because I'm a motivist. You don't have bad intention. You want to tell me that Citi FM or Citi TV or Citi Group, where you are today, you were able to achieve all the first year or second year or third year or fifth year it was set up. You want to tell me that there has never been a situation where changes have been made in terms of decisions or adaptation? What's the essence of monitoring and evaluations? What's the essence of transformation? So what you're saying, I understand people are angry or whatever it is. But they're angry also because I think it's probably from Kwame Nkrumah time up to now, all of us, as look, you're talking about 200 people. We all know Ghanaians. When you speak the truth, they insult you. When you speak the truth, okay, let's blame government. Let's, even without admitting, let's blame government. What about we ourselves as a people?
But Doc,
let me also speak. You called me.
No, I haven't said. No, so far in the interview, I have only asked you two questions, and I haven't spoken for more than 30 seconds in the whole interview. So please bear with me.
I'm talking. You asked me simple question. I have to explain. Yeah. So definitely,
I get it, but indulge me. Indulge me. So you see, I'm trying for you to also understand why the voice clip is generating anger. Because number one,
what I said is generating anger because I'm saying that when Dr. Bawumia comes, I disagree with you 100%.
Can I ask you
I disagree with you 100%.
No problem. Let me ask.
I say that if my government comes, we'll do this. Somebody should be angry.
So
I should tell them things that the other spirit will go down. I shouldn't give them hope.
No. That's not the point.
Wow.
The point.
So what?
No.
Okay.
No.
Honestly, which aspect?
No, that's not the point.
Generate anger.
The point I'm making is that if you,
I'm not arguing with you, but you also advise me that this aspect generates anger.
No problem. You forget about that. I think the question on the table is that what can you do that you can't do now because you've been in power for 7 years, all right?
And I'm saying that we have also never had a period, a situation in the history of this country. I'm over 50 years. That Ghanaians were asked to stay home, but they were paid. Never. For months. The full one was about a couple of months. But for about 21 months, they were running shifts. And government was paying them. Private sector sacked over 40,000 people. We have revenue shortfall of about 12 billion, paying corporate taxes. Yet government was spending, GDP was not growing. We debt to GDP growth. Let's be real. Let's also be very practical. But sometimes, you see, it's like the work that you're doing, Bernard. I can't do it. It doesn't matter my PhD or whatever. It's the Amoah there. I'll fail.
Hello?
Problems. I don't want to be bothered about that. It's all about he's Seka, he's MPP, he's NDC, he's this. And we keep on doing this. And now we can't speak the truth because people will be angry, whether the people understand the issues or not.
But Stephen
Is that
Amoah,
what we want to rule our country with?
No. So you are explaining to us the possible reasons why the currency depreciated beyond what is normal. You are talking about the COVID period. Fair enough.
No, I'm not saying the COVID let it go down. Please don't.
No. See,
you are asking me. I'm telling you some of the crisis.
I understand. I understand exactly what you are saying. I'm just paraphrasing.
Yeah, because what you are saying, somebody will change it.
Nobody will change it. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. So be patient and listen to my question.
No. You know something too. I'm not angry.
Yes. So,
I speak with animation.
Yes, please.
High tone and pitch. You know me for years. I'm not angry. We're having conversation. Unless you want me to keep quiet.
No problem.
I'm not angry at all because you haven't said anything bad for me to be angry anyway.
Now, what is the solution that Dr. Bawumia will use to control the currency or to stop the depreciation? Because you remember, when you took over office, the cedi was selling at 4 cedi, 50 pesos. It's now above 15 cedis, right? So that's close to 3 times the rate that it was. And we know what that does to businesses. We know what that does to an economy. So what solution does he have, or what will he propose to do to the depreciation that will stabilize the currency when he's voted in 2024, December 7?
Thank you for your question. In the first place, the answer must be actually taken on this basis. First, I said that there are 3 main ways, generally, that performance of a currency or specific domestic currency can appreciate or depreciate. 1, monetary expansion. I don't want to go into this technicalities too much because a lot of people will not understand the thing. 2, real value in the market. 3, wealth price levels. So when it comes to the currency, apart from the fact that internally or domestically you take steps A, B, C, D, you're also fighting somebody's currency whose economic generation is stronger than yours. So let's build this basis before we talk about any solution. And we import almost everything from them. For this, nobody, you can say whatever you want, that is the main problem. And I am saying that over the years, whether NDC or MPP, whether CPP or whatever it is, in Ghana here, Bernard, you're so intelligent. You know what I'm talking about. Our approach, our technique has always been short-term. It is a fact. But we need a long-term. And I am saying that Dr. Bawumia will come. When he comes, we will then go into designing the long-term technique. I think people shouldn't be angry with this. Then a good question you ask, which you always do, is that, okay, what will you do? I think as a government, one of the areas that will help us fight these things is entrenching and injecting efficiency and effectiveness into our industrialization agenda as a core model of our import substitution policy framework. Because once we are able to expand the value chains of our industries, i.e. agriculture and other places, most of the things we import, honestly speaking, will be things of the past or a thing of the past. That's where the basis starts from. Then the next thing that we'll have to do is to deal with the inefficiencies when it comes to the amount of foreign currencies in our country and how they circulate, how they enter and leave Ghana. It's also areas that will be critically looked up and new paradigm shift will be introduced. I agree with your question. I agree with Ghanaians. It's a painful situation we are in. We accept. And we have to share the same pain. We are all in it. And I agree if anybody says that you've been in power for 7 years, the person is also 100% right. But let's all be honest that you can be in power for a number of years. But the prevailing challenges and situations, and even corporations and the underlying factors or variables may not even necessitate or may not even help efficiency and effectiveness in what you want to do and achieve. So we have said that when we come, we'll deal with the long-term solution. And the long-term solution that will be provided, we'll look into the area of even revenue generation, our fiscal space. It's an issue. And if you look at the way we are going this digital system, NI and stuff like that, I'm sure we are getting there. Even the artisans, if somebody came to my house in Accra about 1.5 months ago. He did a simple scan for my TV. He took 14,000 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
So when we talk about expanding the tax net to even be rich enough as a country to do most of the things domestically, it is an area that we can look at. That even artisans, the small businesses which form about 90% of our country, whose systematic risk index is far less than 1, and for that matter, their economic performance does not really affect them. We are now going to go into all these areas and develop models and enhance our domestic revenue generation, whatever it is. So what we say we will do, it doesn't mean all that I'm saying. It doesn't mean we can do 100% because we don't know how we have uncertainty. Things may come up. Whoever thought that we will sleep and wake up one day? Supply chain will be so much affected that an item that they were charging only $4,000, it jumped to about $12,000 in our country, which we had no control over. So please, we understand Ghanaians. We share their pain. We are all Ghanaians. But let's be realistic with issues that have been prevailing for not just simply because of NDC or MPP or even within the 10 years or 15 years.
Fair enough. Now, Sika, the truth is that the currency has been depreciating since records started. In fact, if you take redenomination from 2007 to date, the cedi has lost 93% of its value. So we've run the numbers. All governments have had depreciation. But the reason why this is an issue now is it was when you were in opposition that the depreciation was most politicized. Dr. Bawumia, who you are saying is going to solve the problem, gave series of lectures where he said to us that if the fundamentals are weak, the currency or the exchange rate will expose you. And he blamed the mismanagement and the recklessness of the Mahama administration for the currency depreciation. Now, these facts have to be put out because at the time that they took over, the currency was selling for 2 cedi and 0.8 pesos. He left office with 5.5. Let me finish and you can correct what you want to say.
No, that is not correct.
Okay.
I beg you. When it's not correct.
No, bro. See.
When NDC was taking over, the cedi to dollar was 1 cedi 10 pesos.
No, fine. That's Mills. I'm talking about Mahama. But we can.
They were living.
It
was over 4 cedis 20 pesos.
No problem. No problem. So you are taking from Mills to fine 1 to 4. You have taken us from 4 to 16. So my question is twofold. You politicized the thing first, so don't make it look like it's the media that's politicizing anything.
It was not correct. It's also not correct that you say we politicized it first.
It was Dr. Bawumia in his lectures that.
But when Kufuor was there, it was politicized.
Yeah, but
I agree to what you are saying. But when Kufuor was there, when former His Excellency late Rawlings was there, it was politicized.
Fine.
When MPP was there, it was politicized.
Fair enough.
Being done by the two parties.
Yes, but
don't say that we first did it. That is
you did it very effectively. You politicized very effectively.
I mean, what measurement?
No problem.
Somebody effective.
So no. See, let's get back to the question. The question I'm saying is that.
So when you are doing the question, please don't also go into areas that also raise my issues.
The premise.
We all don't have any measurement.
No problem.
Barometer or
the premise
that somebody raised it higher than the other. That's one.
I'm saying that the premise for my question is that the man you are saying will solve the cedi problem is the one who told us that if the fundamentals are weak, the currency will expose you. That's number one. Number two, he blamed the depreciation at the time on mismanagement. Why shouldn't we blame this depreciation on mismanagement? And number two, is the weakness of the fundamentals not being exposed by where we are close to 16 cedis to the dollar? That's the question.
So now I can speak now. Can I speak now?
You're already speaking.
My brother, I'm sure if you have really been on the same page with me, the discussions we'll be having, I'm surprised that all the things I'm raising as a country will help us. Not even trying to do politics with it. You still want to push me into politics, which I think will not help you, me, and Ghana. I have not sat here to say that the dollar today is good. Even if Dr. Bawumia must say that, without even admitting the context that Ghanaians are using it today, even if he has said that, without me admitting even the context we use today, we still have to stick to that. That was my argument. And that was why I identified the problems and also identify solutions that as a country we've been adopting and that we need to move step ahead. And mind you, we all have different regimes. The situation in which Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government and then Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia government went through the 7 years, you can never in any way, unless probably we think there's no God or we don't know what we are talking about, compare the same problems and challenges that we have globally, and as an import-driven economy, we're badly affected to a large extent. You cannot compare the two. If you are not well today, and you cannot go to work, or something happens as Citi Group or whatever, and your salaries are slashed or you are not paid for some time, you cannot say that because you could not pay your child's school fees first week of opening school, which you have been doing, your wife has to divorce you. This is what we want to talk about. So the regimes were different. But I wouldn't say one even did better or worse. I'm not talking about that. I am an expert in these areas. And I am saying that, of course, Dr. Bawumia alone cannot rule Ghana and change Ghana. His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa alone cannot. His Excellency former President Mahama alone cannot. They work with a team. And sometimes even some of your mistakes for 7 years or 6 years or 2 years, Bernard, but I've given you experience or open a new page where you can redefine your new, you can introduce new paradigm shift. You're dealing with, even when it comes to health sector. Now, what happens to COVID? COVID is still there. You are not having the mortality or fatality that we're having again. I'm sure a time will come, they can be eradicated. That is how solutions are found when it comes to developing a society or a country or whatever. So your questions are correct. But let's also accept the answers that, yes, whether NGC blamed MPP blamed NGC, whether one's magnitude was bigger or smaller, my argument is that most of the times our solutions are short-term. And in dealing with currency issues, we need a long-term. And when Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia comes, we're going to do that. We'll look into
in your analysis, how long is long term?
Bernard, when I say long term, it's a strategic statement. When I say strategic, we normally deal with even over 1 year or 2 years, depending. So you are a very smart person. You know but maybe it's also good because one listener.
You see,
so I'm not faulting, but when we say long term,
yes,
it has to do with strategic decisions and approach and framework. And then when you say short term, you're dealing with tactical, something to deal with the short term issues to mitigate or solutions.
I understand that. You see, the reason I'm asking is that in the context of the cedi and the solutions you provide, is long term a year, 3 years, or a decade? Because
to me, your questions, you are so good. Not that I'm pretending. I respect you so much. Your questions are very good. What I know is that sometimes it depends on one meritocracy. If Dr. Bawumia comes, and in terms of giving positions and assigning people, we are able to manage the configuration of our key resources and core competencies very well. And then they will not go and place the car at where Bernard is now that they know the way you are handling your program. I cannot. Maybe it will even move things faster. Two, it will depend on the prevailing challenges because you can cite even 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and something can come up unexpectedly that you cannot do. Let's all be real. Let's be realistic And let us be particular in dealing with this situation, because I am tired of Ghana always MPT blaming NDC blaming NDC, and recycle the same variables. What I'm saying is that if we're able to build our industries well, then if we're able to sit down and plan that we know that 100,000 hectares can give us the banana that we need, so we not import any banana fruit. And this is how I've designed the value chains. We can do that within 8 months or 1 year, get the right labor force, the skill component, get machines, start producing, do our international trade connections and export, and that will take 1.5 years. And we can also go into this and do these things, and probably about 2.5 years to 3 years. Now, everything agriculture, apart from the machine aspect, we produce them here and export. We can deal with most of these problems. It will also provide sustainable jobs, and we will deal away with easy importation.
Yeah,
so
but don't forget that
2 and 3 years we should be able to do that.
Wonderful. Don't forget that we've already had a period of one district, one factory, which has been on for at least 6 years, right? So in the solution you propose around industrialization and competitiveness, one could say, well, you've been touting the virtues of an industrialization program for as long as possible, and yet you're still saying we would have to do A, B, C, D, which is essentially the same thing. Did you get my point? So if I ask the question of the term, is it like the 1D, 1F hasn't gotten to its full maturity yet, for which reason we can't do import substitution? Or is it that the agric processing hasn't gotten to a point? Or is it that the appetite? Because if you've had a 6 to 7 year industrialization program, which you've touted as one of the best, and this is not you, but the government, we should be seeing the fruits in a more stable currency. But if after 6 years the currency is still depreciating that much, is it that the type of industrialization we are doing is wrong, or there's something missing in the 1D, 1F? I'm using that as an example of the solution.
I mean, the media man is asking this. I wish and pray that all media men in Ghana, I'm not saying you are the best or you are better than anybody, but they should learn these things and provide the same question, ask the same question, so that we can build Ghana. Fantastically, what you're raising is very, very good for any good discussion, any constructive discussion. But Bernard, as much as I agree to the question and the concerns, let's also not forget about the fact that, as I said, uncertainties can even set your whole program in terms of time or timing or whatever, or schedule out of track or GIA. You know that. That is one. Two, some of the policies frameworks that we even bring out, because of the failures and the weaknesses along the value chains, where we have different segments, and probably because of what should have gone in preceding the implementation of the program, might give us more experience now. You know that strategy has 3 lenses, so far as I know. 1 is by evaluative technique, 2 by ideas, 3 by experience. So what you all know is that sometimes I don't think outside Citi again. Look, I used to come to Citi so many years back. I'm sure you have not even been there. Look at how Citi is progressing. I'm sure there were certain things you wanted to do. You didn't get what you wanted because of probably a few challenges or mistakes. But with time, you got new experience, you brought new things on board. Probably you make changes in your operations. Maybe you make changes in your personnel. And now you are getting everybody saying that, oh, peace. And they mention Bernard. So I agree with what you're saying. So far as we're developing and building a country, look, United Kingdom, go and check their health policy. I think 2006 or 7, or even far earlier, they had a lot of issues, huge deficits when it comes to their health policy, just as we are doing NHI here. Even those who have about 500-year democracy and whatever that they are developed economies, you have a system, a society. You're dealing with a very complex value chain. So what you are saying is true. But for all you know, the 1D, 1F, we may not be able to get where you are talking about, which I agree with you. It has done some good works for people, because it has employed some people. We have over 100 of them. But maybe as to how we should have computerized or sat down to put in place scientifically designed framework that will give us the numbers and let us calculate percentage to GDP and other things, or maybe how we're supposed to design the value chain before even going on board as to, raw material base availability, transport system, roads, employment first, at the first segment, which is inbound, and the operations level, marketing and stuff like that, and the IT. Maybe we did not, maybe, I'm not saying we didn't. But maybe because of that, now we got more experience.
Okay. So the final, last but one question. So until then, right? Until then, between now, May 30 and December 7, what should we be doing? How should the currency be behaving? Because the question will be, you are the Deputy Finance Minister. Hold on. There's a new team in place. And I'm suspecting that the reason the team was put in place was to manage what we have now while we wait for whoever will win next year to do the long-term things. So between now and December 7, there's an economy to be managed, which I believe you are part of the management team. What assurance are you giving the business community about what specific things you're doing now to stem the slide while we wait for whoever wins 2024 to bring the long-term solutions you talk about?
Okay, yet another good question. Bernard, as I said, in short term, we need tactical approach to mitigate the impact of what is going on and probably reduce it. And first, we need to look at our performance in the area of primary macro indicators, because that is a bedrock. Almost all the indicative targets set by the IMF or between us, IMF and the World Bank and other relevant stakeholder bodies, we have outperformed them. When it comes to the GDP, interest rate, inflation rate, they are still not good enough. But if you have inflation moving from 54.1% to about 23.2%, and we are growing almost 3% against the initial target of 1.5%, which was moved to about 2.5%, we are doing all this. It's a sign of hope. That is one. Two, all of us, including you, Bernard, we should start putting in place anti-panic advocacy framework. All of us. Not to help MPP or NDC or government or anybody. Thirdly, we are trying as much as possible as a government to bring in a lot of dollars, i.e. the syndication loan, i.e. the second or the next tranche of the IMF financial support and other World Bank supports and funds coming in. And my minister was very emphatic and precise. Dr. Alaji Adams, he's one of the most fantastic ministers I've ever met. He works with us as a team, and you see the cohesion at the ministry. Go and find out. We are working together. The public servants or the civil servants, the politicians there, because we are working around the clock to change things. We are doing our best. So we are giving hope to Ghanaians that from now to December, we pray and hope that the aspect of the world price levels, which is also one of the key factors, will not do us any bad. Other than that, there is hope from now up to December, and we'll continue to do our best. It's a process. It is not an event.
So do you expect the currency to strengthen before December 7? It's now selling close to about 15 to the dollar.
I am expecting the currency to stabilize. I am expecting. That is my expectation.
To stabilize at which number? To stabilize around which number?
No, when it says stabilization, it doesn't have to take in place any number that we are talking about. You see, the problem with the
stability. What you see? Let me explain the question. What I'm saying is that
you say no. So what do you want to say?
Yes,
then tell me what you tell Ghanaians.
No, please. But what I'm saying is that the question is that.
But you ask a question.
Don't worry.
Can I answer?
No, I'm saying that you see, I have just like a couple of minutes, and I'm asking you to tell me around which figure you expect it to stabilize. That's all.
You say no. Bernard, not that I'm being too no. At least have a PhD in finance.
No, so around which
you ask me.
So around which figure should it stabilize?
You can't go straight and say sugar. Figure. Sorry, that's what I'm explaining.
Okay,
you
so
you
can't give a range? Can you give a range?
Nobody on this earth can see this. That's why if you allow me to explain, I'll explain.
Can you see no problem. You see the reason I'm pushing this and interrupting you is that no, listen to my question, please. You see, I've heard people say that they met the IMF team and some have said that the currency is overvalued and that it will have to get to 20 to stabilize. So when I asked the Deputy Finance Minister at what level you expect the city to stabilize, I want to know your expectations for the natural stable level of the currency, which is why I'm interrupting you to answer. So it's not like I don't want you to answer the question. The question has to be put in proper context. Is the 16 figure, another one, Bloomberg, they wrote an article and said they expect the city to end the year around 16. Okay, so when I'm asking the Deputy Finance Minister, at what level you expect the currency to stabilize at? What number are you working with? What range are you working with? It's a simple question. Please.
So, can I answer now?
Yes.
My brother, if you talk about Bloomberg might have been doing probably currencies analysis or econometrics or with the figure for about 60 years. So if they give a figure, you don't ask me question out of extempore, I should give you a so I should be able to explain to you. If you don't want to accept that, you are asking questions. You can't say it's
why are you saying the ministry doesn't have its figures?
Are you saying
no? If Bloomberg has a figure, does that mean the ministry doesn't have a figure it works with? Hasn't the ministry existed longer than 50 years?
You see, now you're making me think you want to be diabolic.
No. I ask you, this is my last question. I ask you, no.
Allow me to answer.
No, don't misconstrue my question.
You have your own answer.
No, don't misconstrue my question. The question, yeah, but you are, I have no agenda. The question is simple.
No. What I'm saying is, you're asking a question.
Yes.
I'm asking you, I'm begging you, let me answer. Then when I finish, you can come in.
But you are answering with
you
are answering by asking me a question and misconstruing my question.
No. I'm not asking your question this time. I never said when I asked your question, it was a different question.
So what expectations are you working with? Around what figure should the currency stabilize as a ministry?
What I'm saying is, can you allow me to answer?
Go ahead and
answer.
If
you allow me, fine.
Go ahead and answer.
I told you 3 main or general causes or drivers. 1, I told you monetary expansion is 1. 2, real value in the market. Let's even assume the 2, in a way, can be played with domestically. 3rd one was world market levels. I can't sit here and say that 10 cedis when I don't know what will happen when it comes to world market prices from now up to December. But I can say that we are doing our best to stabilize it. That is what I want. That's my answer. If that is not good enough to you, mark me 0. But listeners and experts are listening to us.
Well, I'm not here to mark you. I just wanted information.
You just called me to speak, and you're forcing me to give me a figure as I sit here.
No.
And you know I'm not even ready to listen to my answer.
No, that's not the point. You've spoken very much.
You can go AI, go anywhere, enter my answer to your question, give to any professor if I'm wrong.
No, the objective is not here for rightness or wrongness.
Ghanaians,
you see,
you don't want to give me an answer.
Ghanaians,
you have your own answer in your mind.
I'm sure you know that expectations have a very important role they play in behavior when it comes to currency. So if we know the expectation,
you wrong when you do expectations with whatever it is.
No problem.
Projections.
So you do not want to put out a figure because that's not what you want to do. That's fine.
I don't want to lie to you.
Wonderful.
I want to be honest.
Fair enough.
I want to be a Ghanaian, a God-fearing Ghanaian. I want to be somebody who understands what I'm doing and I'm telling you. Don't let me go and fake any figure.
So you simply say it will stabilize.
Can anybody say Ghana here and determine the world prices?
No.
Nobody can determine it. They are all done in a way to have rough idea what can happen.
Yeah.
So if I give you a figure, tomorrow somebody will come and say that Steve Namu has every financial service and the figure is not like that. You know.
Yeah.
So why do you want to push me into something like that?
Your answer. Your answer. I accept your answer. I'm just trying to let people know that when we ask for expectation, it's legitimate because there are many people who do projections.
No, yes, you are right.
Yes.
But when you ask, it is also legitimate for you to allow the person to answer.
Fair enough.
You ask a question. Let's even say that I'm failing. with my answer. Let me give my answer.
So you will not give you will not give a range because it's not available to give at this point.
I will not give a range. That is your mind. What I'm saying is that what is important normally is not even the number. It's about how stable the currency is for investors to have an idea of how they can plan their businesses.
Yes, so
if it is $1,
yeah,
$1,
I accept that. I accept that. Mr. Amoah, I accept that.
That is the explanation I want to give you.
I understand that. What I was asking was that, you see, when you say a currency is stable, it stabilizes around a certain number. The rate stabilizes. So, for example, unemployment rate has been stable around maybe 11 for 5 years. Now it's gone to 14. When you say,
let me
just hold on.
It's not the only. That's not the only explanation. When we say stable, it means that it is not changing frequently.
Exactly.
So it's not changing frequently.
So it will stabilize. So it stabilizes around
40%.
Yes, it stabilizes around a certain rate.
But the 40% is not changing. It could be 1%. The 1% is not changing. At present, we have about 14 point something, or say even 15.
Yes.
Then I'm saying that I'm expecting that it will be stable for investors to at least plan their businesses. Now, it will be stable around the figure that it currently is at. At least for the short term, yes.
That's what I was trying to get, because
for the short term.
You see, because
and you say range.
No, hold on.
Range. Okay, you take like
Stephen Amoah. Stephen Amoah, let's help Ghanaians. You see, let's help Ghanaians.
You see, when you guys interview somebody and the person explains things for you, you always want to get to the point that
I don't want to do anything
or one controversial issue for news. That is what
I'm not looking for news. What I'm saying is that if an importer,
the explanation I've given, call any professor into it. Let a professor give another alternative.
Please indulge me.
I mean,
please indulge me.
Will not be too radical or will not be too whatever.
I understand that. I understand that.
My brother, she say.
It's maybe it's okay. Let me just leave you. I think we've had a long interview. It's okay. Have a good morning. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, my brother.
Have a fantastic day. That was Stephen Amoah, MP from Shaiso, Deputy Minister of Finance.